snap.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Youth Ministry Booster Podcast, hanging out at Edge 2024. So good to be here.
Hey!
Talking with Hey, Chad.
What are you up to, bud?
I just recording a few podcasts, at Edge.
I'm back.
Wow. Surprised to see you. Wait, why are you here?
Wait. Listen, I've heard a couple episodes. Everything from I'm on a cruise ship.
Yep, Amanda thought that.
What were
That reservation at Chili's.
That was actually true.
How was your triple dipper?
Yeah. Okay. Let's go back to that for a moment.
Let's review. Yeah. You did go on a cruise this year.
That was way back.
Well, I mean, they hook you. You go to one, they sign you up for the next one.
Back to the important conversation. The triple dipper that was talked about.
Britton knew you.
Yes. That is the correct Chili's
You got it
triple
right?
dipper.
Britton Bishop gets it right.
The other thing that man, I don't know that our listeners realize the type of wisdom that was dropped on
that. Yeah. Britton knew you. He saw into your soul.
The fact that he knew that the Southwest egg rolls are better in an airport.
Yeah.
That is 100% correct.
That's you can only know that by listening to a wisdom sage person or having experienced it yourself. It's smart.
Or being heavy set. So yeah, sure.
Triple dipper, triple play.
No, dude, for real. Yeah, he nailed that. But
yeah.
No, man.
There's some other folks saying that maybe you're out playing golf a little round 18.
Maybe
you're in a new role now.
You're
more expected to be on the course.
I don't know that that's where I'm expected to be. But yeah, let's do a little bit of updates.
Updates, yeah.
One of the things we want to do in this episode
let's
is just
tell them a little bit why you're gone. We talk some or
Yeah.
whatever. Chad's not gone forever, but Chad is, and we celebrate and congratulate in a new role.
Yep.
He has been promoted to be the senior manager of our equipping team at Lifeway, which means actually he's my boss, which is pretty fun. But he's also responsible for the ways in which we are doing training and equipping across other departments.
Yeah.
So Chad will still be on the show, but maybe not every week because you may have some things you have to do, other conferences, events, and things.
Well, and one of the things that even before I stepped into this new role that Zach and I were talking about was the consistency of coming to every week. And so
we're going to be back. We have been and we'll continue to be back every single week. Yeah.
And I think that's just a good lesson in ministry in general.
Yeah.
We moved to every other week. And as we just evaluated and looked at things, there's some great value in consistency. The other big part too that I want to continue to see us move into is the reality of making sure that our podcast is connecting with people that are currently serving in ministry.
Yeah.
And Zach does such an amazing job of connecting and interviewing and talking because we want you as a listener
to stay sharp, to stay informed, stay connected. Yeah.
And there's no celebrity mentality of it needs to be this and it has to look like this. Hopefully you enjoy our banter. We'll continue that.
We still got stories,
but
which by the way, I've got ours for today. Once we share a little bit, there's been talking about changes today on the podcast, and so some changes for you in professional life. I've got some parenthood changes that I needed to talk through with you.
You're pregnant?
So it's been fun having some guests. We've got some more coming. But I have a Gideon update for you that I need to talk through. So Gideon, 7-year-old son, getting a little bit older, soccer stud, reading, learning. Piano lessons is new in our house.
So can we pause for a moment?
Hammering out some chopsticks.
The fact that Gideon is 7. So one of the things...
it's been 9 years now. When this comes out, it'll have been 9 years.
Zach and I have been doing podcasting for a while.
2015.
9 years.
Yeah.
One of the ways that we're able to identify that is when we very first started, I would drive from Bartlesville, Oklahoma at that time.
On a Friday.
Every Friday to Stillwater. I told you I'd give you a year.
Give me 1 year. Fridays for a year. For a year.
And so I'd travel to
Tulsa.
And Isaiah, who's your 9-year-old,
had just been born that September.
Yeah.
And so Fridays were my Sabbath day from the office.
Yeah.
And there were daddy days. And so during Isaiah's nap times, we would record podcasts.
And so at that time,
there was no Giddy yet when we started.
We would refer to Isaiah as our producer.
Right. We've upgraded now to producer Nathan, but back in the day, we had an Isaiah. If you go back to those first 10, 15 episodes, you can hear the faint, sometimes of him waking up from his nap. Like it's pretty cool.
We're like, hey kid, we got stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we got to finish.
right?
We got to wrap this up.
Yeah. Make sure to get the show notes right.
But 9 years, Giddy's 7 now, piano lessons. But you'll love this, Uncle Chad. He's been working on catchphrases.
Get out of town.
He says he's been working on his catchphrases. So we got 3.
Okay.
We got 3. The first one is not bad. So,
not bad. That's a good catchphrase.
Something gets said. Giddy, what do you think? Yeah, not bad.
Not bad.
His second one, we're still workshopping a little bit. It's don't ask me, I don't know. I don't know. That's thoroughly catchphrase, but he's been really confident. He's like, what's one of my catchphrases? Don't ask me, I don't know. So you're welcome to try it out.
Does he say it in a funny way, or
kind of upbeat? He's like, don't ask me, I don't know. A little bit shoulder shrug. Or whatever.
It feels like something you hear in a sitcom.
It's a very Family Matters kind of like TGIF. Don't ask me, I don't know.
Right.
Which leads into his third one, and this is the one that gets us every time. He'll run into a room and then do like a quick shuffle pivot, and then he'll just screech drift like he's a car.
Okay, that's good.
And so he'll move into the room and go drift. And so the first couple times he did it, I was like, not bad.
That is the most mini-me Zach thing I've ever heard him.
It's drift. So the next time you're like late to an office meeting, just running around the corner and just pivot on your heels and go drift. So that's
my God. There's a youth pastor out there that is going to do that.
Yeah.
And he is going to bite it.
Yeah.
Just coming in.
Catch one of them knees, just boom, boom, boom. Yeah, just down.
Some of you guys got some weak ankles. You know what I mean?
Listen, before sand volleyball next summer, let's get our knees over our toes. Let's strengthen up. Get those ankles and shins ready. Let's get after it. But I wanted to ask you.
What if our podcast just becomes a health podcast?
Don't they all? They all end up that way anyway. Listen, we're just giving. Listen, Jacob and I were giving beard tips. That beard starts with skin. Yeah, we got it.
A little beauty podcast.
A little beauty podcast. Thank you.
Youth ministry beauty podcast.
Youth ministry beauty. The B's already there, baby. Y and beauty. Okay. It's patent training. Question for you though.
Yeah.
Did you have any catchphrases as a kid? Because I feel like you're the guy.
Well, I currently have a catchphrase.
Oh, you currently do?
Yeah.
Okay. Grown up.
Well, I utilize and use it. My catchphrase, and I've used it a lot with our team, is
don't ask me, I don't know. Don't ask me, I don't know.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Hey, not bad.
Drift. My catchphrase is it's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
And here's what you need to know if I ever
you got to explain it because it sounds dismissive. Because the first couple times, I think some of the people that didn't know you as well heard you say it. They'd be like, "Hey man, it's fine." People were like, "Oh, it's like neither good nor bad."
No, it is. So
okay.
With our
Tell
team,
the people.
if somebody, if we come out of an event and it's like, how do you think it went? And everybody does that. You need to know, no matter if it's your like first week of youth ministry or you're leading at a conference, you will come out and you turn to the people you worked with, and it's like, how do you think it went?
Yeah.
And so
it's the immediate emotional response after the release of all the effort. It's the breath out.
Correct. So often, though, if that happens and my response is, it was fine, that's actually pretty high praise.
For you, that's the highest of praise.
It is. And the reason, so I always have I don't know if it's a joke or just a thought. I think the things that people joke about are actually the most safe.
Okay.
So like...
Well, because you're safe to tease,
you're safe to tease.
Yeah.
So it's like...
You're allowed to poke. Yeah.
Correct. Like the people on your staff that are like really well loved are often the people that are poked at.
Yeah.
Because you don't actually poke at the people that are like...
You're afraid to.
Right. You're like, well, there's some truth behind that.
Yeah.
And so like...
He's a great boss.
Not bad. So, but no, like... I will often follow up and actually talk about it, but like, it was fine. The dismissiveness feels like actually genuine.
Kind of well, but it's also one of the things, and we talk about this a lot. When people like introduce us to friends or like at an event or whatever. You never want to oversell something because there's nowhere to go. And so it's the feeling that you have like after you preach or teach, and you're like doing the like walkout, or like people are like leaving the lobby of the church. Everyone's like, "That was awesome! That was awesome! That was awesome!" Like the first couple feel good, but if everybody says it was great, it was great, it was great, you almost start to distrust it.
Sure.
Like if you hear the same thing too many times, you begin to wonder like, why are they all saying it the same way? Is there's something that's actually like more true than what they're saying?
For sure.
So.
Honestly, I'm trying to think back when I started doing it, and it may because I don't use it's fine in a lot of places, but mainly like with our student team.
Yeah.
It probably has to do with you. Like we've been at places and people are like, "Oh,
Good
I
job,
love
man. Yeah,
Zach,"
that's great.
and I'm always just like, yeah, "He's fine.
He's fine. He's fine.
Yeah.
He's fine." Yeah. Don't ask me.
Because
I
I'm
don't know.
a big
Yeah.
fan. We truly are really good friends. Man, so Gideon's got new catchphrases.
Gideon had new catchphrases. Isaiah's rocking his palate splitter, so he's got a little bit, but it's okay. Like so, he's got it installed. His teeth are going in. But we love him. He has been a trooper, man. Like watching your kid, and maybe this is for the other parents. Watching your kid knowingly go through a hard thing, and doing it with a lot of grit and a lot of grace. Like every night, we lay back and we have to crank it tighter.
Okay.
And there is something like deeply formational about like Bubba. We know this is the best thing. Yeah. And it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry I can't take the hurt for you, but I'm gonna be with you. So I literally will lay in bed and hold his hand and we'll crank the thing in his mouth a little bit every night. But already, it's been a few months now, the teeth that couldn't come down are starting to come down.
Okay.
And so it hurts a little bit, but we're starting to see the change.
Okay.
And like, man, like it gets me weepy sometimes. This little 9-year-old is so brave and so strong. And so sometimes he would complain about like falling down in the backyard, but he's like, the thing that's been the hardest thing he's actually had to face, he's meeting it with like the most strength and grace.
Good for him.
So
man.
it's cool, man.
All right, so
What's up with Malia?
Oh, so we started first grade.
Yeah.
It's going so well.
Good.
She loves her teacher.
New teacher, right?
Teacher's amazing. And so it's been good. Man, she's just growing up so much and just getting all of the new responsibilities in her life. And it's a big change.
Getting bigger.
It is.
That's her phrase right now.
Well, she doesn't like getting bigger.
Sorry. I'll let you tell. But
as you get bigger, you get more
bigger. That's
responsibilities and
Can't
those
stay
kind
the
of things.
same.
And she is not. She's not liked getting bigger because not all the responsibilities are fun. I'm going to throw you. I'm going to throw you a curveball.
Okay.
I know we plan to talk about change. And
you can change it up.
I'm changing it up.
Yeah, good.
So one of the things,
Not bad.
if you're a longtime listener of Youth Ministry Booster, one of the things that we have done so many times over the years is to have these check-in episodes.
Yeah.
Of just how, dude, how are you?
How are you?
One of the things that we want to be central in Youth Ministry Booster is authenticity.
Yeah.
Man, as ministers, it's so easy to want to throw up a wall or a facade because we feel like we've got to make
persona.
We've got to make sure everybody's enjoying their time and that kind of deal. One of the amazing things about Youth Ministry Booster is the ability to share honestly and openly, and we want to model that, and that's always been kind of a core value for us. And so, Zach, dude, how are you?
I'm good.
Okay.
In the ways in which I'm learning again to be stretched.
Okay.
So one of the changes of you in a new role means that the rhythms that I had of collaborating, there's been some other changes on our team too, that I've inherited some odds and end things that I didn't have before. And so the new thing for me is to be even more organized, I almost have like cubbies of work.
Okay.
Before I had a to-do list,
right,
where I would have like these are the things that need to get done. Very much, if you are somebody that like organizes your work by like a stack or a bucket or a cubby, that's what it feels like now.
Okay.
It feels manageable, but I've had to almost restructure how I think about what I do, and it's made me better. But the hard part is I haven't had the person to talk to about it, because it was always a little bit for the folks to know, like it was always you and Nathan,
right? And
so like it would be like, hey man, well, Zach and Chad are working on this, or Zach and Nathan are working on that, and now it's just Zach is doing it. Yeah, it's like a little bit like isolated, and so I've had to like find different ways to talk about doing the work, but also different ways of like keeping my own self accountable to the work. Because I used to always like run it by you or do it with Nathan.
Right.
And so it's just the changes are good and it's all like bearable, but sometimes my usual check-ins for the things have changed. But it also has like, I don't know, reignited the ways in which who are the people that I check in with, because it does the introspective thing, right? Like if I'm in this new way, who are the other people that are maybe in that new way too? And so that's the pause that
I feel that too.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, like,
more.
Well, I mean, my role, so much of the stuff that I do is different, right?
Yeah.
And so like we've gone for a long time where like the thing we're working on is the same thing.
Yeah.
And while it is, like it isn't,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because the thing's continuing to get bigger. And not only for me, but for you, right? Like new expansion, and you're thinking about things in a new way. And I know about you of like, you enjoy and love that.
Yeah,
like you love the change and the new.
Yeah. Solve a problem.
You know me.
You love a rhythm.
I hate it, right? Like I want to get to, I want to do the same thing every day, and that's not always possible.
Old consistent Chad. Not bad.
Steady. No, but part of that is like getting used to the new when the relationship's still there, but it's just it's different, right? And I would say, and as we talk about even change in how we're doing, like there are probably people listening that things change, right?
Yeah.
And even people that are like, we like change.
Yeah.
We like change when we control change, I think, a lot of times.
So that's the thing. Change is constant. One of the things I think that we've taught each other is to be stretched on change, but to be consistent where you can be.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you've teased me before or whatever. Even now in our travels, some of our busiest weeks, 5:30 a.m., I'm at the same place. Up, Adam going. Because it's one of the things that I can control. And that's some of the things that change is constant. Hear it, feel it, acknowledge it, accept it. But consistency, what can you be consistent in that you can control? So for me, that's like the gym thing. That's like the, making sure I'm reading stuff that's not work-related things. Like some of those, like, it's why we always tell youth ministry folks have a hobby.
Yeah.
Because you can't control church stuff. You may have a senior pastor pivot hard or change who's your leadership or put things in a certain direction that you weren't planning on or ready for, or maybe even sometimes agree with. But like having the hobby of the thing that you can control when parents are frustrated or attendance is infrequent, like you need something in your life you can control.
That's really
so that when the
good.
things that are happening that you can't control, that's fine. It's not your whole life.
Dude,
and I feel like that sometimes is the struggle.
Dude, I feel like that, to me, that's an aha moment. Can I be real?
Yeah.
Like, because as a guy who likes the rhythm in the midst of change, I think my knee-jerk reaction is going, well, this is reality now.
Yeah.
How do I make it?
The whole universe is shifted.
And not everything changes.
Yeah.
Like, we still have our 8 a.m. phone call.
Yep, every day.
Every day, and those kind of things. And so it's like knowing what changes and what doesn't change, but then controlling the thing that doesn't have to change, I think is really, really good.
Yeah,
so.
that's good, man. So, no, I think for our friends, we're entering into that kind of holiday season. I think there's some family stuff. There's some new opportunities. Maybe there is a change of rhythm. I know that winter youth ministry can be a little different. Man, I hope this is introspective for them too.
Yeah.
This is a chance to kind of look back on this year, on what's next, and just consider like, man, what are the things that I can control?
Yeah.
What can I not control? And how can I be really consistent in the things that I can? I think that is, again, you talk about it so much. If every youth minister would open their Bible before they open their email, I think that would be, again, there's going to be emails that are going to pop up and like sideswipe your day.
Right.
Like how many of us have started off, cup of coffee, it's going to be a great day. And then the people ask us something and like, don't ask me, I don't know.
Right.
And it just wrecks our day.
Right.
And so I think that's one of those like, well, I can't control that, but I could be in the Word before I open my email. I can control that. Yeah.
Well, and I think too, it comes back to priority. And the thing I would even say too is it's not just the things, but it's the people.
The people.
Like one of the reasons I think it's so good for you and I to model this, but this is we're having a real conversation.
This is it.
of just
There's no script.
right, but like for you and I and for people listening, constantly checking in on the people you love is in the midst of change, knowing what's changed and what hasn't changed. Is good.
It's good.
So.
Yeah, man. Well, we hope that this has been helpful. Again, we're excited to be back with you week after week because in ministry, you're not alone. And there's plenty of folks that are out there if you're willing to make or take the check-in. So thank you, our friends, again and again. So from 9 years into 10 more, here we go.
Snap.